Hey, it's Kirsten. Just in case we didn't hook up tonight, I think you're still at your photo shoot. I wanted to quickly make this. I'm just looking at something. Okay, so I just got this from Facebook. Okay, so you're going to want to, up here, get the object selection tool. Okay, this is, you're going to tell Photoshop what you want to select, and you're going to pick her. Now, I'm not going to lecture you, but if you had taken 1 or 2 steps to your right, she would have been head on with the backdrop. So you're taking her at it. So instead of having your model move, you should move, because you could have seen in your camera that you were photographing the wall. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so if you take it a step over and have her rotate her belly a little bit, then you would have had paper on both sides, and this would have been way easier. Okay, I'm gonna get off the hill I always die on. Okay, so you're gonna click on Select and Mask. So you can see the marching ants around her are making a really smooth line, but she's not wearing a smooth dress. So we're gonna go ahead and hit Select and Mask. Everything on the right here, leave it as default. You're going to click on the one that looks like a brush on fire. I don't know what that is. A hand holding a brush. I don't know. And what you're going to do is take the tip of the brush, tip of the circle, you can see, and you're just going to go around the very, very tippy tip, and it just blends in the floofy edges with the background so they don't look so cut out. Now, usually the hair is only the part that I really refine edge, but with her floofy dress, you're going to want to get all these little edges right here. Now, for a paying client, I would really be really super careful, but I'm just kind of going really quick to give you the idea. And also, there's 100 ways to do this. So if someone else says, I would do it this way, well, there's probably 100 ways to do it. Okay, so you're going to make sure that output down here is to a new layer and hit OK. All right, so now she is on a separate layer. We're going to click on the background layer. Now, anything we do to the background layer, she is going to be on top. So we're going to hit Control J, because you never want to work on the background layer. We want to work on another. So if you're on a PC, it's Control J, Mac, Command J, whatnot. Okay, so there's a few ways to do it. One, you can click on the paintbrush. Use your bracket keys to make your big and little. You're going to sample right close to her dress, and you're going to just paint. You can see that this is a little bit lighter, and this is a little bit lighter still. Over here, you're going to just sample and paint, sample and paint, because you always want to go right close to her dress, like that, because you don't know if it's black, it's gray, we don't know. Could be anything. Sample by her head. The light is over here. Now, well, let me just back up. So see that little spot right there? Another thing, well, anyway, you could liquify it, but that's stupid. Don't do that. Okay, so we're going to go like this, right? Now, the lighting is a little bit, oh man, I missed a little spot right there. So right here, I don't know if you can see it, right by her head, it looks like the refine edge did something wonky. So let me see. Let's go on her, because you can see when I remove her, you can see where we painted on it. Okay, so we're going to put a layer mask on her layer. If you don't know about layer masks, you need to learn about layer masks. I have 100 tutorials all about them. So a white layer mask, you need to use a black brush. So you hit X, which is the shortcut. And now we can just get rid of how that was a little bit wonky. Okay, double click on the hand to make it full again. Now we're going to go back on the background layer, on the background copy layer. Okay, so you can see I like how the light is coming in, because, or how it's light on one side, dark on the other side, because it shows that, oh, the window is coming, you know, the window light is coming in, yada yada, right? Go back on the brush. Make sure black is the foreground. Or actually, it doesn't really matter because we're painting. Never mind, I'm an idiot. Okay, so you're going to lower the opacity down to like 30%. I'm going to sneeze. Oh my God, I have the worst head cold. Okay, we're going to sample a color right close to her. Now, because we're at 30% up here, you're not painting at 100, but you can kind of blend so that corner isn't so harsh. There we go. It's really super dark here. So I'm going to sample right close to her. And at 50% or at 30%, I'm just going to kind of blend in. But like I said, I kind of like having it be a little darker on one side. The other thing I might do is raise it back up. Let's just go to 100. See how it's the shadow back here? We want to keep the shadow, right? Always keep the shadow, or else it looks like she's a sticker. We don't want her to look like she's a sticker. We can see the shadow. Okay, so we want to make sure that looks fancy. Okay, so you can see that's before and that's the after, and then that's where we painted, and then she's on top of the paint. So you can paint, you know what I mean? Like if you went like this, it's not going to cover her, right? Because she's behind it. She's on top of it. Okay, so if you were going to go ahead and flatten it and be done, one other thing I usually do, but this is like totally above and beyond, like you don't even really have to, is I click on the Liquify. She's actually very stunning, so I mean, there's really not much I would do. You get the forward warp tool, which is the top here. And I might just foofy this out a little bit. One thing you can do too, and I have a bunch of tutorials on this also, you can freeze what you don't want to move. So you don't want her hand to move, and you don't want her belly to move, or her knee, or her foot. Okay, so now get the forward warp tool. And now you can kind of like floof out, you know, sometimes, you know, make the hair a little bit fancy. The bigger it is, the more moves, just to be mindful of that. I might, and if the smaller pieces move. So you want to kind of match the size of what you're moving. You don't want to go too much or else it looks kind of wonky. But I feel like this needs to be brought down a little bit. Oops, see how I just moved her toe? Let's freeze that toe. We don't want that to move. I almost gave her a funky toe. Okay, then you can thaw, which is just the opposite of freeze. And then you can hit the preview button, which is also the letter P. Before and after. Just feel like this has to go like a little bit. Everything else is beautiful and fine. Ta-da! Okay, so that's how I would do it. And if you have any questions, give me a